2024 is shaping up to be the year for isometric ARPGs. This genre was in a decline for numerous years, propped up only by the constantly updated Path of Exile 1, a spattering of one-off, seldomly expanded titles like Grim Dawn and Titan Quest, and universally claimed disappointments like Diablo 3 and Diablo Immortal. However, interest is once again popping off in this loot-based, action-oriented genre, from both players and developers. We should be excited. This lovely little genre of ours appears to be entering a renaissance, and I'm all here for it. It's time to outline every upcoming isometric ARPG set to come out in 2024 and beyond. Of course, I'll be starting with the games I'm most excited and optimistic for, and systematically making my way down the entire list. I'll give everyone the rundown of each game's highlights and when it should be releasing. We'll start with Path of Exile 2, set to be the definitive next-generation evolution of the ARPG genre. Some could even say this will be the first quadruple A isometric ARPG, worked on since late 2018, the result of a tremendous effort from developers who learned an absolute ton while running their free-to-play, critically and community-acclaimed game Path of Exile 1 since it went public in 2011. Path of Exile 2 currently prides itself on doubling down on the depth of PoE 1 while removing the complexity where needed to make the game even more accessible for new players. Additionally, the game is serving as a huge graphical, engine, animation, and sound design overhaul. The game looks gorgeous, it should play well, the characters and monsters move fluidly, and every sound and song is crisp. The game will also be a massive reset in terms of power creep. PoE 1 has reached a state of absolute debauchery and godliness when it comes to character power, and much of it is accessed through convoluted systems. PoE 2 gives everyone a clean slate, while keeping or reforming the systems everyone loved from PoE 1. Path of Exile 2 goes into closed beta on June 7th, 2024, when it will be accessible to many of those who would like to play this pre-release version of the game. The game director of PoE 2, Jonathan Rogers, claimed he would like the beginning of the beta to feel like a real game release, and he would like it to have more content in it than any other currently launched and live ARPG. Campaign, endgame, character customizability, itemization, and all. It's a bold undertaking, but grinding your games seems to be prepared. Path of Exile 2 will likely officially release in December 2024 or sometime in the first half of 2025, per its lead developer. Leading up to release, it will be in a huge, constantly updated beta. It will release on PC, macOS, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. You can wishlist it on Steam now, or sign up for news about the beta on the Path of Exile 2 website. To many, including myself, this is the most anticipated ARPG, if not the most anticipated game of 2024. It's going to be hard to beat. No Rest for the Wicked is poised to be a mix between the typical isometric ARPG and the beloved Souls-like subgenre that has been making a huge mark on the gaming industry as of late. The game's world is handcrafted, without a reliance on pseudo-random generation like other similar ARPGs. Instead, players shall traverse the landscape with either WASD movement or a controller, with a focus on playing in a different, unique way with each playthrough. No Rest for the Wicked has a soft class system, meaning the focus is on the weapons and the playstyles they grant. These weapons will push the heavy, devastating combat in the game, wherein its Souls-like roots will take shape. The game also promises a city building system, allowing you to purchase property in-game and reform the town as you see fit. It also has a gathering system, yet another difference that sets it apart from competitors, allowing you to fish, fell trees, mine ore, and more. No Rest for the Wicked definitely sets itself apart from other ARPGs like Path of Exile, Last Epoch, and Diablo, abandoning point-and-click movement, inserting heavy survival and Souls-like influences, and removing the random world generation other games usually rely on. Instead, it takes a huge focus on the weight of combat and tactical movements, which can definitely be a gamble in a game like this. It seems to be slowing down the typical speed of the genre massively, and from what we've seen of PoE 2 and its reception, this can come with mixed feedback. I'm definitely looking forward to checking out this game, smashing some dark beasts, and crafting a lanky character of my own. It hits early access on April 18th, 2024, and will launch on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. Further development shall immediately follow, including a multiplayer release and new content updates. You can wishlist it on Steam now. Titan Quest II is a highly anticipated sequel to Titan Quest, an ARPG based on Greek mythology released in 2006. It is being created by THQ Nordic, the makers of Gothic 1 and 2. Titan Quest II looks to continue the path its progenitor paved, and makes new strides in the ARPG genre. The game will focus on exploration, especially during its campaign. Additionally, it plans on having a dynamic mastery class system quite similar to the first title, immediate item crafting, intelligent enemy factions, mythological Greek-inspired environments, monsters, and music, and multiplayer. However, we've not seen any gameplay thus far, only a cinematic announcement trailer and some screenshots. Titan Quest I, as it shall now be called, was a cult classic. Some people claim it's their favorite game of all time thanks to its unique setting in the ARPG genre. THQ Nordic best take their time with its sequel and ensure it's a worthy successor, almost 2 decades out from the original. As someone who has never played Titan Quest I, I'm not too sure what to expect out of its sequel just yet. And really, it's hard to tell with it being released nearly 20 years after the first game. The layout on the website looks promising, as do the stills we've seen, and I'm a sucker for Greek mythology in games going all the way back to the RTS Age of Mythology, so I will definitely be checking out this game once it is available to play. Titan Quest II currently does not have a release date, so I'd be quite confident in saying it'll come out sometime in 2025 at the absolute earliest, or most likely sometime in 2026. It will be available on PS5, Xbox, and PC. Moonbeast Productions is a group of former Blizzard North developers, particularly the creators who made Diablo 1 and 2, who are keen on crafting the next huge ARPG. You will even be able to jump in this game. They claim to boast state-of-the-art, highly granular procedural world generation, a Diablo 2 feeling item system with modern enhancements, and a fully moddable experience that is a complete break from the traditional ARPG game loops to foster greater replayability. Plus, characters will be able to break and rebuild the world itself with their abilities. What does that mean? Honestly, I have no idea. These promises are vast, they're ambitious, so that means these developers could most definitely fall short. They are quite experienced, especially within the realm of ARPGs, so they do think they have the stones to deliver what they're promising. Unlike Titan Quest II though, they did preview some gameplay in its early pre-alpha state, giving us a glimpse at gameplay as they would imagine earlier than most other studios would risk. It was promising, especially since they've been at work for far less than a year. This upcoming ARPG from Moonbeast Productions is definitely in the early stages of development, so I wouldn't expect it to release anytime in 2024 or even 2025. 2026 and beyond is most likely. I would recommend joining its Discord server for all the latest updates and showcases. We don't yet know what this game will be available on, but it's a safe bet it'll be playable on PC. Path of Exile Mobile seeks to be the best possible ARPG you can play on the go, with no pay-to-win aspects involved. The PoE developers are trying to craft the PoE experience on your phones, focused around the in and out aspect of mapping. The gameplay previews we've seen of it thus far are rudimentary, but it's a backburner project they're not funneling all of their resources into. It will be a cool glimpse into the history of PoE's world of Rayclass, though, giving us insight into the events leading up to our exile in Path of Exile 1 at the hands of Dominus. As a lore nerd, I am quite looking forward to this. Path of Exile Mobile's release date has not been hinted at in the slightest. All we know is it will release after PoE 2 officially launches, as that is the current priority. I would wager it'll come out sometime in 2025 or early 2026. Now, let's change gears and inspect every ARPG that's launched already and experiencing live development in 2024 and beyond as well. However, unlike the first segment of this list, we're beginning this part not with a title created by Grinding Gear Games, but one released earlier this year by 11th Hour Games, Last Epoch. The game is a middle ground between uber simple and uber complex ARPG systems, rife with quality of life meant to maximize every player's enjoyment every play session. While the launch was turbulent, the game itself is a blast, and the developers have already prepared us for what we should be expecting in its first expansion. I'm hyped. Others are too. Presently, the endgame is a little sparse, but EHG are already on it. For patch 1.1, they will be focusing on bringing new pinnacle encounters and bosses into Last Epoch. On top of that, they're addressing as many concerns as possible, brought to their attention by people playing 1.0. This includes improvements to the Merchants Guild trade faction, characters spawning into new areas facing the wrong direction, and a shakeup to the Monolith of Fate system. Even more so than my current favorite ARPG, I am looking forward to the future of Last Epoch, and many others are too. These developers began as a group of dudes working together remotely and managed to release a game to the masses. It's an epic feat, and I have a feeling the rest of their journey will be just as mythological. Right now, Last Epoch is only playable on PC. Path of Exile 1 has been receiving regular updates and expansions since 2011, when Grinding Gear Games brought the game public and began their aggressive but constant development cycle. Even with the development and release of Path of Exile 2, that won't be stopping. Path of Exile 1 expansions hit every 3 to 4 months throughout the year, and they continue to innovate the genre while keeping at what the game does best, challenging its players to break the game as much as possible. That much was evident during Affliction League. The next Path of Exile 1 expansion is due out at the end of March 2024. We already know it'll arrive with a slew of quality of life improvements and, as usual, new items, new bosses, new cosmetics, and more to unlock and face. Even better, whenever Path of Exile 2 officially comes out, work on PoE 1 can ramp up once more as Grinding Gear Games plans to run both games at once. Most of the focus has been on PoE 2. Very few developers actively work on PoE 1 presently. Just a couple people designed the Forbidden Sanctum League in its entirety. Once GGG is on the cycle of PoE 2 League, PoE 1 League, they're likely going to be dominating the ARPG market. We'll be eating well. Path of Exile is playable on PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation. Grim Dawn gets its third expansion sometime in 2024, titled Fangs of Asterkarn. Originally, this game launched in February 2016, developed by Crate Entertainment. While it doesn't have a live service or seasonal model, the game receives regular free balance and quality of life updates with the occasional expansion. While the developers have claimed the game is no longer being developed a few times, they really seem not to be able to let it go, and keep pushing out substantial expansions for this game's smaller but loyal player base. Fangs of Asterkarn adds the Ascendant game mode, a transformative 10th mastery, a new chapter of the campaign, brand new environments, greater potion customizations, epic item awakening, 2 new roguelike dungeons, and much more. If it sells well, I cannot see Crate Entertainment stopping Grim Dawn development. People are voracious for good ARPGs. Personally, I've only recently dipped my toes into Grim Dawn. I will likely be checking this out once it releases, as long as I'm able to break my way through the rest of the Grim Dawn campaign. Like Titan Quest before it, Grim Dawn is one of those non-live service ARPGs people absolutely adore and give massive praise to. I need to check it out in full. This type of ARPG experience seems to be the expertise of this small team of developers, as they went from making Titan Quest 1 and right into Grim Dawn. Rumors are even sprouting up about a new engine and a Grim Dawn 2 being on the horizon. We'll just have to see. Grim Dawn is playable on PC and Xbox One. Diablo 4, a game that has been plagued with controversy ever since its official release in June 2023, will receive its first paid expansion sometime in 2024, called The Vessel of Hatred. Of course, the game is also being updated with new content with every season. As of this video, the game is in its 3rd season, the Season of the Construct. While some are pleased with the state of the game, others are disappointed Blizzard does not seem to be focusing on the replayability and, seriously, playability of the game itself. I know it's harsh, but the game just doesn't flow as well as any other ARPG I've played. However, its next big seasonal update, Season 4, promises to bring sweeping changes to itemization. Many hope this will reinvigorate the gearing process in D4, one of the most important aspects of any loot-based game. Sometime later in the year, The Vessel of Hatred will release, likely during the summer of 2024 or a bit later. With it will come an expanded campaign, a brand new class unforeseen in the Diablo universe, and assuredly a wicked Blizzard cinematic. Will the upcoming updates to Diablo 4 fix the game? Will it bring back the hype built up by people like Hog or Asmongold or Darth microtransaction pre-launch? It's unlikely. The game needs a ton of work to make it a deep experience for most avid ARPG players. For those looking for a quick campaign playthrough or a night of demon slaying at a high price point, this is the game to get and look forward to. Diablo 4 is playable on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Finally, there are a bunch of other ARPGs on the market receiving constant updates as well, but they are pay to win. Even if they are fun, well-designed, and interesting, the way forward when it comes to character progression can just be done by swiping a credit card. The big three in my mind are Diablo Immortal, which is a game designed by Blizzard and NetEase in conjunction. Then there's Torchlight Infinite, the latest iteration of the Torchlight ARPG lineage, filled with pay-to-win characters and items. And finally, Undecember, a game that would be absolutely rad if it weren't for the blatant pay-to-win nonsense packed within. All three of these are worth checking out just to see what is possible out there in the ARPG genre. Just know that what you earn by gameplay is not comparable to what you can buy with real-life cash money. All three mentioned are playable on PC and mobile. Truly, the ARPG genre as a whole seems to be in a blissfully beautiful renaissance in 2024. Developers see the desire for excellent games in this space, not only because they know it's a profitable area to explore, but because there's so much that can be improved and evolved. It's evident with almost every release the community experiences. Games like Path of Exile are live service done right. Let's hope at least some of the games on this vast list live up to the hype and have a lasting impact on the genre, and, of course, are fun and interesting to play. Between the currently live group of ARPGs and everything set to release in 2024 and beyond, what are you enjoying or most looking forward to? Let me and everyone else know in the comments. As always, I would like to thank every single one of my generous patrons for supporting my content. If you would like to help this channel grow, my Patreon link is in the description. Thanks for the consideration. More content like this is already here and on the way. Like the video, hit the subscribe button, and activate the sub notification bell to make sure you get it all. Tala Moana, Traveling Exiles.